Doing it to the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman. And we've been given some extensive coverage to this trial last week, even taking a journey to Philadelphia twice last week to sit in on ARAB's drug trafficking federal case right now. But one of the developments that we reported last week, Sandman, was Dark Low being asked to be removed from the courtroom as one of the government informants was talking. But right after that, we've seen early in the morning in our comment sections and on Instagram with close affiliates of OBH and Dark Low that he was actually arrested by the feds. Now, the whole day went past. Nobody really knew what happened. We officially found out later that other day, but the official story has came out about Dark Low, and they pretty much saying that that day he went home, that the federal agents met him there with a search warrant. They arrested him and pretty much are charging him with tampering with a federal witness. They were pretty much going there to see if they could find any correspondence of communication that Dark Low had with the alleged, I ain't gonna say alleged now, but the snitch. We just call him a snitch straight up. And he's arrested for that. Now, I'm not sure how much time this carries, Sandman. I can't see it being like, 20, 30 years, maybe something 5 years it may carry. I'll look it up in a second. But what do you think about this development coming out with Dark Low being charged with tampering with a witness?
We knew this last week. We just couldn't make it official. We were getting word and hearing certain things and kind of had speculation. It was one or two things. And thank God it was this one and not the other one.
Yeah.
But it's being up there and seeing it, it kind of is whack because he was peaceful the entire time. He wrote in a statement, or I don't know if it was his. Well, obviously it wasn't him, but it was from his Instagram. He was peaceful up there the first 3 days, didn't make a sound, went up there, watched, and walked home. Went there to do his thing, sat in there in support for ARAB. The witness, the informant, the snitch was not comfortable with him sitting there, couldn't look him in his face while he did what he was supposed to do.
Right.
And he walked out peacefully. He asked the marshals, why me? What did I do? I mean, why can't I sit in here? I'm legally allowed to sit in here, but didn't go above that tone at all. It was chilling.
Yeah.
You had to be that close to him to actually hear what he was saying because he wasn't raising his voice at all. And for them to know what was going on and have him sitting there, letting the people go through, clapping up his people as they walked through and just sitting there knowing that they were waiting for him when he got home.
They were drawing up that warrant at that time.
That's whack, man.
It's crazy, man. And I'm looking it up, saying, man, and it says tampering with the witness, victim, or an informant, the punishment for such an offense is up to 20 years if physical force was used, attempted, or threatened. So like I said,
how could he do that if he was in federal custody?
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, the alleged thing is that there was some kind of communication, whether it's a phone call, a letter, kite, whatever the fuck they call it. It was some type of communication that happened. And I guess they're saying that, intimidation, scaring them. But nigga, you in federal custody. Who's going to touch you in federal custody? And then if you ever get out, when you get out, they're going to put you in Idaho somewhere with a different name. What the fuck are you scared of?
What are you afraid of? we speculated on he was probably just ashamed to look that brother in his face, but then we didn't expect Dark Low to get arrested right after that, even though the feeling didn't make anybody feel safe in their shit. We was in there just working as media, and we didn't feel safe in that motherfucker. So can only imagine how some of them other brothers felt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, it's going to be ongoing. I predict sometime probably this week we'll have the sentence or the verdict that'll come in on that case. Again, we were sitting in there and it looked like that the case was very weak. It's not as strong as the words look on the indictment. When you hear about this and that, when they were able to start cross-examining these different people that the government had as witnesses and, things like that on the stand, the story was kind of falling apart. There was a lot of holes in the story. A lot of the people's, character was very questionable. A lot of cops not following through, not identifying people properly. What's the girl? Her name was Daisy Dukes. They had her names on the paper. That was one of the people that was sent in
stealing rocks and shit.
Yeah, stealing fucking meth rocks and a big ass 56 grams of meth rocks. So everything was falling apart. But then this guy, the informant, and a lot of people were speculating also that maybe he even was informing before, like how the feds come in, like with the Tekashi situation, have a guy in and say, all right, we're gonna bust him, but we need you to go in and do this. So a lot of people are speculating that part, that he was around them guys, but he wasn't official OBH yet, but they were kind of vetting him and courting him, and for whatever reason they didn't make him officially OBH. So whatever that means and shit, but I mean, I don't know what you got to go through initiation or some shit, but they didn't consider this dude an actual OBH member, just an affiliate. And it turned out, see why.
The surprising thing about this, oh God, to me was how little the prosecution had and the amount of time they were throwing at this brother and the other brother sitting there awaiting to see their sentences and seeing their lives. And the balance is sitting on scales right now. And it's crazy when you sat back and you actually look at it, because transcripts are one thing. And shout out, we talked about this last podcast, for the people who sit on these platforms and can deliver transcript after transcript of what's going on and can deliver that story. Shout out to y'all. That's not us. And it was good that we got to sit there and physically feel and hear what was going on. To see that they didn't have much, and to hear these numbers, and then to know that the surveillance that was going on and the invasion of privacy shit, let's call it what it is, that was going on. And
it was
the people and the characters that were put in these places. It was shocking and almost just like a movie to see. And I ain't trying to sound novice to the game, but it was really crazy to sit back and just watch and go, damn, they really don't have anything.
What about the judge, though, Sandman? Not to cut you off.
That was crazy, too.
The judge's attitude towards the defense, and not really, because when you look at court, one thing you want to have is to be able to lay your case out. Let them talk. Let them do what they got to do. This judge is up there objecting, everything, striking everything from the record, telling the jury not to even, consider different things like that. And it always seemed like it was more towards trying to stifle what the defense was trying to prove, as opposed to getting in there and stopping the prosecution. And it seemed like like you said, the thing is fixed like a mug. It's like, yo, take these years, or you gonna fight us? Oh, nah, we're gonna whoop your ass. We're gonna give you life now. Either way, it's crazy.
Goes down. You can look right across from the judge and look at the jury and look at just how fixed that scene. And how we were talking. We still talk about it behind the scenes to this day from last week, like how there was nobody. There's supposed to be an objective view of eyes and ears sitting up there looking at this case, and they all looked one way, seemed to perceive it as one way. I don't know what kind of question they were asked, but they looked a certain way, and these other people don't. And it's like, where's their proper representation at, just to give a certain eye or view? You can even hear in some of the prosecutions in language when they were reading text, and how I forgot what they were saying. John, they were saying John. Yeah, where's the John? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Somebody sitting there in the jury don't know what you're saying if they don't relate to Joan and don't understand what you're saying. So how are they going to articulate that? And then one thing that caught my attention was when the defense was cross-examining, and he was showing a piece of evidence, and he wanted to show it to the lawyers and wanted to show it to the judge first. And then he wanted to show it after he articulated more of the story to the jury. And he was very dismissive. The judge was very upset, saying, listen, cut him off, and said, don't do that again. Don't set up my fucking defense, pretty much. You're not allowed to do this. It was crazy to me to watch. You could see how the fix was in, and how they don't care about us.
Not at all.
At all.
Not at all. And, the treatment, everything in there. And just to kind of get into the jurors a little bit more, say, man, as we close out on this particular topic, man, I was talking about, just having a jury of your peers and somebody who, like you touched on, that could relate to the situation. The last thing you want to have is somebody in there who can't relate or know what these people had to go through in this environment, because they'll just look and say, okay, well, these guys were caught with this, they must be guilty. That don't mean that just because, they got caught with a little bit of whatever, if that was the case, because there was even holes in that. Yeah, as far as, them initially not finding nothing, and all of a sudden they found all this stuff. So, it's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know what? And then you can even go on that, the stuff that they found. Who's to say the plant didn't plant it there and tell them it was there? Who knows? Yeah. What kind of access they had to do whatever, and how dirty and shady this goes. Okay, are we sitting here acting like OBH and ARAB or Saints? Nope, we don't know. Right. They probably could have did whatever in they past, but we know right now they were trying to do something to better the community. Out here using this rap money, out here doing these other things for real estate and helping other people in the community. And that's when he got busted. Now that's when he's sitting here looking at football numbers, and that's where the injustice seems to be.
Rallo and ARAB, Sam, man, when you look at two of the things that I think are constant between both of them, and I was watching an old ARAB interview, I think it was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how he started buying houses and real estate. Same thing with Rallo, and it seems like, I don't know, man, because all the rappers, just something Dark Low was saying in the interview he did last year. All the rappers talk about they sell keys and this, that, and the third, but all of them don't get arrested. It seems like they pick and choose the ones that they're going to actually, put these cases on. And it seems like the ones that, because again, all them people that showed up for him, right, wrong, or indifferent, he had about, I would say, in the 2 days, 100 different people that showed up for just ARAB and, you know, the other people, you know, in that place. That's power. Start buying real estate. Yeah, at one point, he may have been a tyrant in the street. He talks about certain things he had to do to survive. But now, even Big Meat said this, you know, now when I start turning it around for difference, now the feds come in with this bogus ass, you know, case that not really as strong as it seems. So we were sitting in there. So I don't know. You see any correlation between that at all?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The second they start gaining power, you can even throw a Nip out there in LA and it impacting the change that he was creating and he was doing. They don't like that. They don't like when the impoverished and the people that they want to oppress begin to look and see a silver lining or a door that can open up for them to give them a better outcome or a different kind of change to the bullshit living that they are. And when you see an ARAB, somebody from the gutter, somebody who lived it, that looks just like them, that talks just like them, walks like them, can sit here and buy a real estate and provide. That gives hope to the youth. That gives hope here. That goes and provides different jobs to maybe certain felons that wouldn't be able to get jobs in other certain areas. These provide opportunities for people that look, talk, act, walk like us, something that we weren't privy to. They don't want that. They never did. So if you got an accumulation of little things here or there, you got the feds watching you, you got social media staring at you, which they do. They proved it. They said it. And they got enough. And it don't take much. But if they got enough in their eyes, they lock your ass up, write up some paperwork, and have you fighting for your life.
And then they try to act like they come in sitting up there. And it was funny how that lawyer, you know, he's like the Team USA. They sit on this moral high ground like, oh, we taking these drugs off the street and the streets are safer now. No, it ain't, because y'all bringing that shit in. So you pick and choosing people that's taking it and trying to act like you're doing something, clean up the community. We know that the shit's getting recycled and throw back on the streets from you people. So it ain't, the fix is in. You know, we understand what it is. You know what I mean? Some people are allowed to do it. Some people are busted. It is what it is. So it's not.